Yes, they are here.
Assistant Registrar? Are they in different sets? Okay, so maybe...
They are in different sets, yes.
Okay, so can you tell us what documents you have?
These are original documents relating to Director of Finance, Lamin Suso, original documents.
Okay.
These are correspondence with 5C Energy from 2020 to 2023.
From 2020 to 2023?
Yes.
Okay.
These are the nominal rolls from 2018 to 2023.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll go through them and then deal with them
Okay, thank you.
during the break. Thank you. Thanks. So, Mr. Chair, last week we were dealing with the task force reports that were prepared by the subcommittees of the council.
Yes.
And one of the issues that was prevalent throughout the reports was about the revenue collection and the revenue collectors.
Yes.
Now, I just wanted to refer you to one of the minutes of the General Council,
Okay.
which was held on Thursday, June 30th, 2022, and ask you to give us your reaction.
Okay.
So one of the points that they raised was, it said after revelation, Honorable Gary, is this Omar Gary?
Yes, Honorable Omar
Okay.
Gari.
Said that he will not go for collection and will not recommend for any councillor to go either. He emphasized the fact that those collectors are paid to bring money, and if they cannot do that, they should simply be dismissed. Honorable Danso echoed similar sentiment, saying that the underperforming collectors can very well be replaced with people who will be willing to work. When asked about the level of collection, Manlafi said that collection has dropped due to the attitude of collectors. The vice chairman argued that the problem is with the senior staff at the finance department, noting that the senior staff had never opted for any action against the collectors. He then suggested that the finance department should be investigated. On his part, the CEO implored on the councillors to continue with the good work and not to get discouraged. He stated that their constraint has been the emphasis put on relationships. He then opined that the attitude of leniency should be stopped. He also assured the meeting that the task force recommendations at any given time will be implemented to their full effect. He agreed that there's a dubious activity going on at the Lumo and Market. He then appealed to the General Council to take actions when necessary. So what is your reaction to that?
Yes, it was true that Honorable Gari and Honorable Danso objected not to go in for collection with the collectors. Because normally when we formed the task force, there was a resolution passed in the finance subcommittee where all the councillors signed and they were grouped together with the collectors to go on tax collection. That was conducted and it was very successful. But later, the councillors, due to the reason best known to them, some due to political reasons, because they said the people they are collecting from are the same people who voted for them, and going with the collectors to collect from those people, it doesn't tell well about them. Hence, the collectors are there and they are paid by the council. They should do their work, and the councillors should not follow them for that part.
But then they're complaining about the attitude of the revenue collectors.
Yes, the attitude of the revenue collectors is that the same attitude continues. Collections, money will not be forthcoming.
Money will not be what?
It will not be forthcoming. Revenue will not be forthcoming. So that was what resulted to all the reasons based on some of the things I have highlighted, due to the fact that they are so much familiar with these vendors to an extent. If they go to a vendor and they ask the vendor to pay, due to familiarity, the vendor will, tell them maybe come tomorrow or next week, and they will keep on pushing, and they will not be able to collect anything from them. Or sometimes due to revenue losses, they will collect, like I said before in my previous testimony, that they will collect, but they will not give out ticket, because when they give out ticket, the vendors will refuse to take the ticket. And anytime they refuse to take the ticket, that money will not be counted as part of the council's revenue, because they got one ticket, so we'll only see one ticket in the system. So that one ticket will be rotating maybe to 2 or 3 vendors before one of them will accept it. So all those things were highlighted. This is why I employ on the councillors to go with these people, so that at least they are not going to collect, but they can witness some of the things that are happening, and if possible, we can reinforce. Yes.
So would it be a fair statement, considering all the meetings that have gone on at the council that touch on the revenue collectors, would it be a fair statement to say that most of the issues with revenue collection and the fact that the council is unable to collect revenues due to the attitude of the revenue collectors?
Yes, it's a fair statement, but the supervisory role also was not very strengthened as expected.
Because if you had been disciplining the revenue collectors, then there would more likely be better service, right?
Yes, and if they are bringing money to me and I'm accepting that money, for example, to discipline them will always be a problem. And I think this is the major problem with the finance department.
But you have stated during that meeting, you said that you assured them that
Yes.
the task force recommendations at any given time will be implemented to their full effect. But you have already said here that none of the task force recommendations have been implemented.
Yes, the task force recommendations, normally they go to the General Council. And when they go to the General Council, I normally wait for the General Council to pass a resolution.
But this assurance that you're giving is to the General Council.
Yes.
So you're assuring them that you will ensure that the recommendations are implemented.
Yeah, when you go further, you will see that I said based on their recommendations, the General Council recommendation.
No, it says, on his part, the CEO implored on the councillors to continue with the good work and not to get discouraged. He said that their constraint has been the emphasis put on relationships. He then opined that the attitude of leniency should be stopped. He also assured the meeting that the task force recommendations at any given time will be implemented to their full effect. He agreed that there is a dubious activity going on at the Lumo and Market. He then appealed to the General Council to take actions when necessary.
Yes.
Thereafter, the General Council unanimously agreed to establish a task force committee to launch an investigation about the financial issues of the council. Also, the vice chairman was selected as the chairperson of the committee. And that was it.
Yes, this report was prepared, presented, but there was no action. There was no action taken by the General Council.
So when the report was presented to the General Council and no action was taken, was the report sent to the Ministry of Lands?
No, the report has not even shared. It was not shared. It was out of my own discretion that I have shared this report with you, but it was never shared. In fact, when it was passed at the General Council, immediately after the meeting, they collect all what they have given to the councillors, so that it will not go out from the council. Both reports that we have just gone through last week and the one we are looking at, it is out of my own discretion to share with the Commission to know that this is what has happened. Because these reports, there was never any action taken or a resolution passed. When they were presented, they were all collected from the participants, the councillors who were there together with myself, and they were all packed, and
Who asked for them to be taken?
The General Counsel, because they said when those people reported, they didn't agree on what to take, because they said the people who conducted the exercise were not qualified personnel. I think that was what led to the former report from the internal audit, Council's internal audit, for Honorable Umar Gari to tender his resignation. The same thing follows in this, where Yuba Jawara is the chairperson of the task force, and another task force where Honorable Senu Kanute was the chairman. All these things were never concluded, and they were never, no action was taken.
So
Yes.
your general meeting would have had minutes of the meeting where they decided that they were not going to take any steps, right?
Well, they did not agree to say whether they are going to take any action or not, but I think there should be minutes on that.
But everything that is considered during the General Council would be noted in the meeting minutes.
Yes, and I think the chairpersons of these task force committees, I think they all came here to give their statements, and I hope they will also have answers to these questions.
Yes.
Both
So
you
I'm
got-
asking about the meeting minutes for the meetings where the General Council decided that they weren't going to take any steps in respect of the reports, and where they said that all of you should return the reports. There should be minutes of those
There
meetings.
should be minutes of those.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes,
we'll
yes.
give you the file later so that you can go through them and maybe point out those minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I wanted to find out about your budget process.
Budget.
Yes, can you tell us what the steps are that you take to prepare your annual budget?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. When we refer to the Finance and Accounting Manual, from page 17 to page 19, section 301 to section 303, there it deals with the budget process.
Okay.
The budget process starts at the council that will convene a meeting at the management where they will advise for the budget subcommittee to also have a meeting and prepare a budget call circular. And in that budget call circular, they have to take care of very important dates in that budget call circular. That is the dates, the 31st July, 30th September, 30th October, and 21st of December. Those are very, very important dates as far as budget preparation at the council is concerned. When the finance committee meet, then now they will pass the budget circular to the wards and to the various departments in the council. So the wards will have to meet at their ward level, then come up with their priorities, and these priorities will be sent to the planning directorate for onward submission to the Director of Finance. Director of Finance will then collect all the information both from the ward level and from the departments, and this should not be later than the 31st of July every year. So when these reports are all collected, they will be sent back to the wards, and they will be displayed at the ward level for them to look at whether what they have sent is what has been prepared, and even at the council level to see whether the departments what they have given is what is in the draft. Then when that is done, then it will be brought back again to the council, where the budget committee will look at it again and take it to the general council for general council to look at it. Where when the general council look at it, then it will be sent to the ministry. The ministry will also look at it and for their inputs, for their review and their inputs. When they review and they put their inputs, it is taken back to the general council for the general council to approve the budget.
So in the budget subcommittee, do you have the councillors of the various wards in the subcommittee when you're meeting about the budget?
No, we have the budget subcommittee. Before the budget subcommittee, it used to be the finance committee. So, but when we have this budget process, we mark the two committees together. But we have councillors, that form higher number in these committees.
So, at the budget subcommittee meetings, what exactly do you deal with?
We look at the information that we receive from the ward level.
So that's in respect of the projects that they want to implement for the upcoming year?
They are priority areas, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is the information that they provide? Do they just provide what they want and for which ward, etc., or do they give a breakdown of the costs and all of that?
Yeah, we'll tell them that it has to be costed.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be costed, yes.
And do you give them a limit, a ceiling?
Yes, of recent we used to give them a ceiling of not more than 500,000.
Of recent is since when?
2020 to 2023. But before, we don't normally give them ceiling. We just give it to them, and they send it to us, which we found out that we always have problem when we are putting the budget together.
Excuse me. So when you're preparing the budget and you're going through the projects that the wards are planning to implement,
yes.
Do you have an idea of what your expected revenue is?
Yes, before that, the assessments will be done, and the finance department will have their actuals for the previous years. Then the assessment, based on the assessment, will also have an idea about how much we expect to collect for the current year.
So say you're doing your budget for 2023 in 2022.
Yes.
By July you sent out the circular.
Yes.
By when would you have the information back from the wards?
Back from the wards, it should be on or before the 30th of September.
Well, is it not the end of September that it should come back to the General Council?
No, it should come back from the wards July.
By July?
End of July, yes.
Then so what you're saying is that by end of July,
yes,
you would have had your actuals up to that period?
Up to
for that year?
Up to July for that year, yes.
Okay, and then you would have had the projections for the year coming?
Yes.
Because your finance department would have done the assessments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have the assessment that will inform you what your expected revenue for the incoming year is, and you have the actuals that you have received for that year. So by the time you're getting to mid-year, which is July, when you're getting these, you already know that either you haven't collected half of the revenue that you need to collect for that year, right?
Yes.
So you're in a better position to know what the likelihood of you collecting the revenue that you have projected for the year coming is.
Yes.
Okay. So now in 2022, you didn't have any development projects, and you knew you wouldn't have development projects from 2021.
Yeah, we have development projects, but we are not able to implement them.
So in 2021, when you were preparing your budget, you had foreseen that you would be in a position to have development projects?
That's because looking at the revenue and the liabilities that we have taken, definitely we will not be able to do any implementation of any
So
program.
what I'm asking is, when you're preparing your budget,
yes,
you were already looking at these details by July 2021.
yes,
Right? So you had already started planning for 2022 budget.
Yes.
You already had the projects that you had received from the wards.
Yes.
So you knew that these were the projects that you planned to implement in 2022.
Yes.
Right? So as at 2021, say by September, you would have known that these are the projects that we want to implement.
Yes.
You would have also known that because of what we've collected this 2021, it is not likely that these projects will be able to be launched in 2022.
Yes.
Right? But then you took the loans for 2021 towards the end of 2021, right?
Yes.
Those loans were not in your initial budget for 2021.
You are right.
So why did you choose to take loans at the end of the fiscal year? And such substantive loans?
Yeah, it was all geared towards those projects that we have intended to implement. And frankly, it was all, I'll confess, it is all due to poor planning, because budget is all about planning, that if all goes well, even the loans that we have taken and the payments and the collection is done as expected, we would have been paying as expected, and we will be able to pay salaries, and we will be able to at least do some, not all the projects, but at least some projects. But the major problem that we had was due to poor planning, and that is resulted into not the collectors not being able to collect as expected. Because in Basel we have the revenue.
Okay.
But then it is all collected.
Let's just go back a little bit.
Yes.
So 2021 projects were planned for in 2020. Right?
Yes.
It would have been in your budget for 2020.
Yes.
And the mode of financing these projects should have been indicated in your budget.
Yes.
Right? So in 2020, you didn't expect to have 15 million to do the actually it was 32 million I think you had budgeted for your projects.
Yes.
For 2021.
Yes.
You knew you would not get $32 million in revenue.
Well, with the comment of the use of the digital machines, we were highly anticipating that due to the efficiency of the machines, the revenue collection will be boosted.
So by mid-2022, you already knew that you weren't going to get the 32 million for your projects.
Yes.
Right? So some of the projects you scrapped.
Yes, some of the projects we scrapped,
right?
Yes.
Now, you took the loans towards the end of 2022,
Yes.
the 15 million.
Yes.
Sorry, 2021.
Yes.
Right? And there was no supplementary budget for it to accommodate for the loans.
No, there was no supplementary budget.
There was no approval given for the loans.
For the 15 million,
Yes.
yet, there was power of attorney from the General Counsel and order approval from the ministry.
What was the power of attorney? What power was it giving and to whom?
The councillors, they all agreed that I should go out and look for a facility to finance the projects.
Do you have a copy of the power of attorney?
Now?
Do you have a copy of the power of attorney?
I think I have a copy. I think I submitted it some time ago.
Okay, but would you have a copy with you?
Maybe unless I check later.
Okay, so
Please,
can you check during the break?
During break, I will check, yes.
But I just need to know, why was it necessary for the council for the general counsel to give you a power of attorney? You're saying that it was given to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, just you?
I think me and the finance director.
So when you're taking out loans generally, it is you and the finance director that would sign, right?
For the loans, yes.
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 And you never do that with a power of attorney?
Okay.
No, I'm asking. You don't do that usually with a power of attorney?
You don't do that?
When you're signing for loans?
Yes.
When you're signing for overdrafts, do you use a power of attorney?
No. For overdraft, no. The overdrafts, we never inform the general counsel about that.
Okay.
It is only
And when you're taking loans?
It is only the 15 million that we involve the general council.
Okay, so in the entire period that you've been at Basse Area Council, have you taken out any loans other than the 15 million?
Is about this overdraft, short-term loans.
No.
Yes.
Loans, not overdrafts.
I could not recall.
Okay. Not from Trust Bank, not from Guarantee Trust Bank.
All those ones, they are soft loans like 900,000 or 400,000.
So what is the amount that would require you to go to the General Council? Because it seems you would take overdrafts for 900,000. So what is the threshold that requires you to actually go to the General Council?
Well, we don't have any threshold. All of them should have.
So for the loans that you took, the 5 million and the 10 million, did you provide any collateral?
Yes, the collaterals are in the power of attorney. They are on the power of attorney.
What were the collaterals?
I think we have the Trust Bank building in Basse.
A Trust Bank building?
Yeah, it belongs to Basse Area Council, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was the collateral that you used for both loans? Because they're
Yes.
two different banks?
Yes.
You gave both banks a charge on the same property?
I think the other ones we give our lands, our assets, like the current place where we want to lease to GNPC, we have also used that as a collateral, yes.
So do you know which asset was given to which bank as collateral?
I could not recall.
So why was it necessary for the General Council to give you a power of attorney?
Because we took the matter to them for them to approve it, so that that power of attorney, I can use that as a guide to say that I am mandated by the General Council to go ahead and take this particular loan. So I also told them that you have to sign a document and give it to me, and the rest I will have to follow up with the ministry.
So do you know what a power of attorney is?
What?
Do you know what a power of attorney is?
Well, I think it's, maybe I stand to be corrected. It's a document that can give you the mandate on behalf of the particular institution to go ahead and conduct certain legal activities.
All right. So usually it is your office that binds the council, right?
Yes.
As the chief executive officer.
Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
the
ma'am.
accounting officer.
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to sign documents on behalf of the council.
Yes, ma'am.
To enter into contracts on behalf of the council.
Yes.
So if you're the one that's already supposed to do that, where does the General Council come in to give you a power of attorney to do what you're already mandated to do by law?
Yes, as part of my role, I am still under their direction and their control.
So being under
So
their
that
direction,
that particular one, that particular one does not give me an autonomy over to take certain decisions without consulting the General Council.
so when you
Especially-
consult the General Council on any issue and you need the authority, in what form does that authority come?
It will be written
And is it not usually in a resolution?
in a resolution, yes, where
Okay.
they all have to sign behind.
Right. So you understand that there's a difference between a resolution and a power of attorney?
Yes,
Okay. So the power of attorney is for a person, is the person saying, I'm giving you the power to do in my stead everything that I have listed in this power of attorney.
yes,
So if you're the one who's supposed to sign for a contract on behalf of the council, it is not the General Council that signs contracts, right?
yes,
So if it's already your power
Yes.
to sign,
yes.
it's in effect, they're saying that they have the power to sign. and they're giving you that power. Do you understand?
Yes.
So by that power of attorney, what they're saying is that it is they, the council, that has the power to sign, and they're giving you that power to sign on their behalf. But you've said and confirmed that you have the power to sign, to bind the council.
Yes, based on their directives.
You would need a resolution from them.
Yeah, I'll need a resolution
You would
from
not
them.
need a power of attorney. Who advised the council to prepare a power of attorney?
I think in the event while we were waiting for the ministry to get clearance from them, that was what prompted us to go and look for an alternative that I can also rely on, where I did not get the approval from the ministry. I can rely on that of the General Council. That was what prompted us
Is
to
the
go
General
for that.
Council in a position to take a loan when it is required to get approval before taking that loan? Can it overreach that authority?
No.
So if the ministry had refused to give authority to take that loan, how would the power of attorney have protected you?
Yeah, we'll still go ahead to take the loan, but we'll know that the risk attached to it is when we default, we cannot go back to government. And I will be held responsible for that.
That's what you believe that the risk is. So if you took the loan, even with the authority of the central government, why do you think that the central government would be liable for any default that you make as a council?
Because the central government, our line ministry, have the overarching powers over all councils, and they have that power, to approve and disapprove. And when they approve, in default, in total default, then we have to bank on them.
On what basis? Where is this written?
Well, I could not remember where exactly.
So the ministry is responsible to monitor the councils.
Yes.
Each council is set up by statute as a body independent.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. You have a right to sue and you have a right to be sued.
Yes.
If you enter into a contract with the bank for a loan and you default, is it you the bank is going to sue, or is it the ministry?
The bank will sue us.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're an independent body capable of making your own decisions, you said that you have financial autonomy, etc., why would the ministry step in to solve your problems, your financial problems?
Because we are still under the ministry. We don't have that autonomy to do so many things on our own. We still rely on the ministry.
So when you're preparing your budget, and you go to the ministry, you have budget bilaterals, right?
Yes.
The ministry has their input into your budget.
Yes.
But ultimately, it is the council that decides.
Yes.
So if you have autonomy over your budget, irrespective that the ministry has something to say about the budget, you will still go ahead and pass it if you think that that's what you want to do. So why is it that when it comes to you misspending or not carrying out your obligations, you think that the ministry should back you and pay for whatever it is that you didn't pay?
Yeah, to some extent, we have autonomy over the budget. When it is prepared, it is looked at the General Council. Before their approval is sent to the ministry for them to review and make comments. There are areas where they will comment, and at the bilateral, that was the essence of the bilateral, we have to defend. Where we are not able to defend, they have to reduce it. And certain areas, they have to also advise us to increase it. So when they finally we have that input, that's where we take back with the comments and other things. Then the General Council, based on that, after when the Finance Director put in all the comments, then it's finally taken to the General Council for their approval.
So after the budget bilateral, you don't actually go back to the ministry to say, well, we've taken this into consideration and we've amended our budget or anything like that. You don't do that.
No, when we considered all their comments, when they review and we consider all their comments, we send back the budget to them for endorsement.
And do they endorse?
Yeah, they endorse. They will give us an endorsement letter.
They give you an endorsement letter?
Yes.
And then you approve the budget for the upcoming year?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2022, when you were preparing the budget, sorry, Chair has some questions.
Mr. Chure, on the issue of the loans,
yes,
we have noted in your documents,
yes,
that you stated the power of an attorney that was granted to you,
yes,
was done through your lawyer.
Yes.
It's your lawyer that drafted the power of attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can assume that he explained the rationale of the council granting you the power.
Yes.
To go to the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And was there any advice proffered by the lawyer that drafted the power of attorney? And who is the lawyer that drafted the power of attorney for you?
If my memory can serve well, I think it's Kijera, Lamin Kijera.
That drafted the power of attorney?
The power of attorney, yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Ture,
yes, sir.
Don't you think that the council resolution was enough? It's just going to the extent of having a power of attorney.
Yes, the council resolution would have been enough instead of going in for a power of attorney. But in this particular issue, we decided to go in for a power of attorney, which also was agreed by the council and they all signed, just like the resolution.
And then you have to pay the attorney.
Yeah, we have to pay him, yes.
And that is also a waste of taxpayers' money.
Yes,
and you should have been firm enough to advise the council properly that it's not necessary to have a power of attorney. Just the council resolution can do it, just like the lead council said, that is a responsibility that has been given to you by the Act.
Yes, Commissioner, we are very right. We should have only consider the resolution, which will be no cost to the council, and we use that, and we go ahead to secure the loan. But it is all due to lack of proper advice on that.
Now,
yes, ma'am. Madam Chair.
Would you also agree that you did not properly acquaint yourself with the powers granted under the Local Government Act?
Powers.
What you do, what you are capable of doing, what you are supposed to do.
Yeah, I have acquainted myself with that. Maybe there may be some interpretations that I may not understand. Like what I understand, and that is, I am still, whatever I need to do, I have to make sure that it is under their control and their discretion. So that person, I should have gone in to look for more interpretation and more understanding of that person.
Council.
Yes.
So when you were preparing your budget for 2023, did you have the actuals for up to July 2022?
Yes, I could remember the first bilaterals that we conducted. The actuals were not completed at that time.
What was that?
And we were asked to go back and make sure that we provide all the actuals.
So when you had your bilaterals for 2023, you didn't have all the actuals for 2022.
Yes.
And when did you have the bilaterals? Wasn't it around October
Yes, around that.
2022?
Yes.
So why did you not have the actuals by October 2022?
Yes, this the issue of the actuals, still it all boils down to lack of proper documentation, and all was boiled down to the issue of we are not able to get this information due to IFMIS. That is the only thing I
But I thought by 2022 the IFMIS system was fine.
It was fine.
So
Yes.
how was it an issue to get your actuals?
It would not have been an issue, but they were not able to complete the inputs. So, and the inputs, if they are not completed, you will not be able to know the actuals. If they do the inputs up to May, and we want the actuals up to July, so the July vouchers will be lying down, and that if they are not in the system, then it will be incompleted. And I think those are the major problems that we have faced from the finance department.
So why were the July figures not put into the system by October?
This is what I'm saying, yeah, sorry.
I know that the finance department did not put them in. Why?
Well, all the pressures were mounted on them, and
What pressures? You didn't have any development to do in 2022. So what were the pressures that made it difficult for them to do their job?
now I'm not saying that we have a pressure, but I said we have at the management meeting here and there, we always emphasize to the Director of Finance that your information should be up to date. Because if it isn't updated, we'll find it very difficult, because you cannot conduct a bilateral, you cannot present a budget without actuals.
So
Because
then why did you bother going for the bilateral if you knew you didn't have actuals?
Yeah, because I told them that there are three key important aspects that you need to look at when you are doing budgeting and when you are going to present your budget. That is the approved for the previous year, the actuals for that particular year. The actuals will help you in your projection, because the actual would have informed you better that in 2020 you projected maybe 10 million for fuel, and the actual that we have spent on fuel is like 11 million. You have surpassed what was approved. So therefore, when we are doing the estimate for the following year, like 2021, then you should take into consideration that if you put the same figure, 10 million, you will have a problem. So the actuals will better inform you when you are doing your estimate. So I told them without the actuals, you cannot call this a budget.
So let me ask you, you usually have a budget line or budget subhead for sensitization, right?
Yes.
Now, does your area council, do the inhabitants of Basse know that they have a right to see your estimates?
Yes, every year, since I took over, after all the bilaterals, we'll call the wards. Each ward will have to come with their members, at least the chairperson, that is the councillor, then the ward secretary and their treasurer. At least, apart from the councillor, we'll invite 3 other people, making 4 from each ward. And then we also invite stakeholders to a participatory budget session. We'll organize a participatory budget session where we have to present the budget to them, where we'll discuss about what was approved and what is the actuals and what we have estimated. We normally conduct that participatory budget
And when
session.
do you do this usually?
This is done usually when we receive the budget from the ministry and it is finally approved by the General Council.
Do you have members of the general public in Basse attending your General Council meetings? Is it open to them?
Yeah, it's open to them, but not most of the time they come and attend the meeting. But most of the time also, what we should do, like we go to the radio, inform them, or put it on the social media, that one was a big lapse. It is very, on very few.
Do they know that they can attend?
Yeah, they know they can attend.
Okay.
When they come,
How do they know?
Most of them, some of them, they are familiar with the local government, because we'll tell them that if you come, you will attend, but you cannot contribute. If you have anything that you are going to contribute, you can write it on a piece of paper and pass it to your councillor for onwards presentation.
You said they know because they're familiar with the Act.
Some of them, not all of them.
How do you know? Have you spoken to them?
No, I've not spoken to them.
So how do you know that they're familiar with the Act? Are you familiar with the Act?
Not very much.
And you work with the Act. So the ones that are members of your population, how do you know that they're familiar with the Act?
Yeah, for some of those people who normally comes, it is very, very rare that we'll put it to the general public that they come. But the few that will come, sometime they will be discussing about the Act, especially when we have the participatory budget session. Some of them will be referring us to the finance and accounting manual.
You said that it's very rare that you inform them to come. When have you ever informed the general public that you're having a general council meeting and they're welcome to attend if they want to?
Well, I could not recall the dates, but there were instances where the general public will be coming to attend the meetings.
When they come to attend, do they sign any register attendance?
No, they don't sign registers.
So how do you know that they're there? Have you seen them?
Yes, they will come and we'll arrange chairs for them just on the wall, and they will sit there and observe.
And your meetings, are they held in English?
It is open. Whoever wants to speak in the local language will say that. I could remember the Vice Chairman, Yuba Jawara, always emphasized that our taxpayers, they don't understand the English language. The General Council meetings should be done in the local language. And for him, if he's doing it, he will do it in the local language.
Okay. So let me just show you the budget for 2023.
Okay.
Now, under the overview, your revenue is stated to be $55,675,256.49 butus.
Yes.
And the same for expenditure.
Yes.
On the financing, you have nothing on borrowing and nothing on overdraft.
All right.
So, in 2023, the council didn't take any loans or overdrafts?
In 2023.
Can you speak into the mic, please?
In 2023, we didn't take any. We took overdraft, but we didn't take any major loan.
And when you were taking the overdraft, did you prepare a supplementary or a revised budget?
No.
So your budget was not changed to reflect the financial borrowing that you'd be doing?
It doesn't reflect that.
Now, under revenue projection, you have taxes.
Yes.
Now, under taxes, you have license. So you have trade licenses, you have liquor licenses, animal, hand, cart, and tricycle, operational fees of institutions, firewood, charcoal sellers, other licenses, etc. When did you approve this budget?
This budget, I think it was in October
You approved it in October 2022.
2022, yes.
And as at the time you were approving, you didn't have actuals for a lot of things as of September 2022.
Yes.
Now, does Basse have bars?
Yes.
You have bars,
We have bars, yes.
and they sell alcohol.
They sell alcohol, yes.
But you have nothing for liquor licenses.
Yes, I normally have these issues with them for the collectors to go and collect from those bars. It's always very, very difficult. The reason best known to them. But we have bars there.
So it's already established that you have issues with your revenue collectors, and it's because you've not been carrying out any disciplinary measures. That's why they continue to do as they please. And you have too many revenue collectors as well.
Yes.
So that's on the side. But what about your director of finance? Who's supposed to prepare this?
Yes,
Was he queried for giving you a budget that you approved without so many details?
Yes, this, like I said, it was origin. It was a concern for me that a budget without complete actuals, you cannot refer to it as a budget because.
Did you query him in writing?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you had no actuals for liquor licenses, no actuals for animal or hand carts or tricycle, nothing for operational fees of institutions. And operational fees are one of your highest collecting, right?
Yes.
You had nothing for firewood or charcoal sellers, nothing for other licenses. You don't even have an approved budget for operational fees of institutions. Does that mean that they didn't do an assessment for 2022?
They did an assessment.
It's not contained in your budget?
It's not. Firewood sellers and the charcoal sellers.
No, operational fees. The others are minor. So your operational fees, approved budget for 2021 was $5 million.
Yes.
Actual December 2021 was $4,531,519.48 bututs.
Yes.
You have no approved for 2022 and no actual for September 2022. And you have not given an estimate for 2023. Why is that?
Well, I think, like I said before, there is a serious issue with our budget.
So that means your estimates are way off. So for the most, let's assume that it's about, you collect between 4.5 and 5 million a year on operational fees. So that means at least your budget is already off by 4.5 million, probably.
Exactly, yes.
Taxes, you have nothing for actuals for lodgers tax and strange farmers. Nothing in your actuals for September 2022.
And they were collected?
They were collected?
Yes.
They're not in your budget? In your approved budget?
They were collected in 2022.
Do you know how much?
No, I don't know how much.
You do not have commercial rates for actuals, September 2022. No government rates, no actuals. Fire insurance, no actuals. And for approved 2022, commercial rates was 1.2 million. Government rates was 2.4 million. But you have no actuals for that period.
Yes, there should be actuals.
Now
Government rates were paid.
Your estimated income for commercial rates in 2023 is 3.5 million.
Yes.
But your approved for 2022 was 1.2 million. Your approved for 2021 was 1 million. So where did you get the estimate of 3.5 million when you didn't have any actuals for September 2022, and the trend does not correspond with the 3.5 million.
Yes, the 3.5 million was from the previous assessment that this is what is expected that we're going to collect for that particular year.
Your previous assessment was 1.2. Oh, okay, your assessment for in the beginning of 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
So down the line, when all were collected, or not all were collected, what was collected was 1.5. So when we look at that, there will be no point, putting the 3 million or even putting in 1.5, because you realize that if you put there, it will not be realistic, and they will not be able to collect it. It's just like you are just putting imaginary figures.
But that's what it's looking like your budget is doing, because you've estimated 3.5 million.
Yes.
For 2023.
Yes.
When your approved budget for 2022 was 1.2 million.
Yes.
How do you move from 1.2 million to 3.5 million? When you haven't even shown the actuals for 2022. In 2021, you're showing that you collected $74,089.
Yes.
And the budget was $1 million.
Yes.
2022, your budget was 1.2, and you have provided no actuals. So I'm just wondering, if the last time you collected 74,000, how do you now move to 3.5 million?
Yeah, these figures, like I said, they are based, we received these figures from the assessment. But now the issue is with the collection. These monies are lying there. They are
the
still
chair
there.
wants to ask you questions.
Yes, you've indicated that these estimates that you have put in the budget,
Yes.
as you use the estimates from the assessments
Yes.
that you've done.
Yes.
So can you provide us the assessments you have done for the council from 2018 to date?
I think that those documents.
Did you document?
Those documents were submitted by Keru for Lansings and that of rate and tax by Malafi.
We will check with
The documents that they submitted was the license
register,
the tariff.
No, the license register.
They provided the register?
The license register by Keru, yes. When I was making submission to the investigators, the
Okay,
license
we'll check.
register was submitted and rate and tax also was submitted.
All right, we'll check and
Yes.
then revert.
We'll get back to you
Okay.
before the close of the day,
Okay.
so that whatever we find in our documents,
Okay.
we will let you know.
Thank you.
And if we don't find them,
Okay.
when we come back after lunch break, we'll let you know to
Thank you very much.
request for those documents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Councilwoman.
Thanks. So let's go to your projects.
Projects.
Yes.
Okay.
Your capital ward projects.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Now,
Are you looking at the budget?
I'm not looking at the budget. Okay.
Before we look at the figures, do you know how much revenue the council had collected by the time you left for 2023? Or even an estimate?
I requested for the document, but I don't want to say offhand.
Okay.
I'll check it during break time and get back to you.
All right. So you have several projects. You have,
Sorry.
I think, 19 projects,
Yes.
20 projects that you have. No, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have maybe about 28 projects,
Yes.
right? And Some of them are 500,000 for each. Most of them are 500,000 for each.
Yes.
You have one that is 3 million, one that's 3.5 million, one that's 4.8 million. And I think the cheapest is your contribution to GAMWorks, which is 100,000. You have another 3 million. You're planning to purchase a car?
Yes.
Full. Who were you planning to purchase a car for?
It went a time when the chairman's vehicle was grounded.
The
So
chairman was what?
the chairman's vehicle was also grounded, so we wanted to get him another car
So who did you purchase the pickup from your Kurbeli for?
for the CEO.
Because that was for you.
Yes.
So the chairman wanted a new car,
We wanted to get him a new car.
but I thought the council didn't have funds.
We didn't have funds and we never proceed.
Now this is in your 2023 budget.
Yes.
So
The budget, like you know it better, budget is a plan.
sorry?
Yes, I say budget is a plan,
It's a plan based on your expected,
revenue, resources,
Right.
yes.
but you would have planned for it, so you would have probably started doing your procurement, it would have been in your procurement plan,
Yes,
so the year before that you will submit to GPPA.
yes.
Was it in your procurement plan? Were any of these projects in your procurement plan for 2023?
This was supposed to be there, unless I.
No,
look at
were
it.
they? Not supposed to be. Were they in your 2023 procurement plan?
Well, I'm not sure.
Is this not something that you would know?
I should know it, yes.
Now,
Because frankly,
were any of these projects launched? Did you float any tenders, anything for these projects by the
No.
time you were leaving?
not yet.
Did the council have the funds for any of these projects?
We did not.
Was there any real expectation of having these funds at the time that you were preparing this budget?
Because that time we were thinking that, hoping that when we lease our land to GNPC, we'll have some funds that we can carry
Is
out
that
some of the.
captured in the budget?
No, it's not captured in the budget.
If you were going to lease, would you not have put that income in the budget?
We should have put it there as an expected income.
Right, and you would have put it there because it would have been a source of income on the basis of which you would be launching these projects.
So,
Right, so that wasn't in the budget.
that was.
So
not-
was there any real expectation at the time you were preparing this budget that you would be in a position to fund these projects? Mind you, these projects are, is it $33 million a project? Let me check. Yes, $33,463,000 is $375.68 Butut's worth of projects that you were planning to implement in 2023. You still haven't paid your debts for 2022.
All right.
So how did you realistically expect to fund these projects?
Frankly, we'll not be able to fund all of them. If all goes well, if we are able to lease that land and
How much did you expect to lease that land for? How big is the land?
it was only, I think, 3.4 million. That was where the discussion was based on.
So that 3.4 million
Yes,
into the 33 million that you've budgeted for
yes,
capital.
yes.
How is that going to make a difference?
The difference will be very minimal. But we were also expecting if the collections were also strengthening and boosted, at least we'll be able to pay for our liabilities.
Were the collections strengthened and boosted?
They were not.
So on what basis did you foresee the council implementing any of these? Or did you just put the figure there so that the budget, it would be that the capital budget was 60% and the recurrent was 40%? Was it just to meet the budget requirements?
No, it was an anticipation
Not based on any facts?
based on our expected income.
Sorry, the chair wants to ask you questions.
Yes. Yeah.
Mr. Ture, it cannot be, your response to that question cannot be correct.
Okay.
Because these projections that you did for 2023 were not based on any realistic assessment or reconciliation that you have done to have warranted you to have expectation to implement these projects. Is that not the situation?
I think when they did the...
No, answer the question. Is that not this? Because the projections in this budget are not realistic. Because you never reconciled any transaction that was done over the period.
You are very right.
So you couldn't get any correct figures.
You are right.
So you just assumed and then drafted a document showing that you have seemingly complied to what your responsibility is to provide a budget.
Yeah, because you are right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, you are right.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Because when they did the assessment, they came up with this figure, the 55 million. So based on that we are expecting, if those assessment figures were realistic, and I will be able to pay for the liabilities, and I will be able to carry out some of these projects. But like I always said, the money is still lying down in Basse. Basse, when you go there, you
Yes,
look at...
but Mr. Ture,
Yes.
in 2019, going by the audit report, there were, the budget estimate was done, and you knew your actuals that you collected, and the budget was estimated.
Yes.
And by end of 2019, you
Yes.
had real actuals.
Yes.
But in 2020,
Yes.
you did not do your reconciliations, so therefore you could not get actuals as to what you collected as revenue. And you were not able to reconcile. And this went into the subsequent years, up to 2023. So there is no way you could have justified this budget to even your line ministry.
You are right. Thank you.
Council, you may proceed.
Thanks. Now, some of the projects that are listed in this budget are projects that had previously been put in a budget, right?
Yes.
And they were not implemented when they were put in the budget.
They were not implemented.
So you've now come and put them back in the budget,
Yes. Because we
even
said,
though you know that it's not likely that they would be implemented.
because we said we are going to prioritize. Like those wards that benefited from the capital projects, when we are implementing these projects, those wards will not be, they will not benefit from that.
So if you had decided that, why bother to put those wards on the budget?
Because
If you had already known the position that you would be taking, you knew that you would prioritize some over others, some that had already benefited should not be included because they won't benefit this time around. Why include them in the budget?
Yeah, we just want to give a fair chance for everybody to participate in the budgetary process.
And at the time you're having them participate in the budget process, do you not have a conversation with them to explain that actually only those wards that did not benefit should send in their proposals?
No, we don't do that.
Why?
We should
Why
have-
give them the expectation that their projects would be considered for implementation?
We don't do that. We should have informed them even at the ward level. Then that particular ward would not have even presented a budget for this year. But we did not do that. It was only
In
when
some of your meeting minutes, either the general, I think maybe the development committee, I'm not sure, but in some of your meeting minutes, some of the councillors were complaining that they did not want to have to go back to their wards to ask them to provide projects that they wanted to implement, because they've been providing projects to the council several years in a row and nothing has come out of it. You're aware of this?
I'm aware of it.
So why would you do this again? Why give the people an expectation and a hope that they're going to have something when they won't.
Yeah, it was not right. You
And
should have told them
these
the
are
reality.
people that you continuously collect funds from, year in and year out.
Yes.
And you don't show them anything, you don't show them that you're using the funds that you're collecting from them for their benefit. But how do you keep saying that they don't want to pay their taxes? If you were in their position, would you want to pay your taxes if you don't see where your taxes are going?
If they are paying, if I'm paying and nothing is coming out of it, it will be difficult to get money from them.
So it seems that the council, you just prepare your budget to meet requirements, but your budgets are not actually a realistic estimate of anything that you're doing in the year.
Yeah, maybe for 2022 and 2023.
For 2021,
Yes.
your budget was not a realistic
2021
estimate
2020,
of what the
yes.
council was doing.
Yes.
So and that would have started in 2020, not in 2021, because it was based on the revenue that you collected in 2020, etc.
The developments, normally they are based on the current year. What you've collected, that's what you use for those developments.
For that year.
Yes.
But you plan it ahead.
You plan
So
it
you
ahead,
planned
yes.
it you prepared the budget for 2021 in 2022.
Yes.
Sorry, in 2020. Right. So for the period 2021 to 2023, your budget has not been realistic.
All right.
And your expenditure has been way above whatever you've collected.
Yes.
And you've been surviving on overdrafts and loans.
All right. I think that was why the PFM, as part of their reform agenda, they now introducing, though all the budget that we are doing is in this line item budgeting, but they are also trying to introduce the MTEF budgeting system, so that at least we'll have program areas, and the budgets will be very realistic. They will be they will have both program-based budgeting and resource-based budgeting, so that you will only do your budgeting when the resources are available in realistic manner.
But, Mr. Ture,
yes.
the current provisions that you have for your budget,
Yes.
the provisions that are in the Finance and Audit Act, that are in the Local Government Act, that are in the Finance and Accounting Manual, they're supposed to work. They are supposed to, if they are followed properly,
Yes.
you should not have a problem with your budget.
We should not.
So
have
this thing where you're saying that PFM has introduced a new, whatever, program
Yes.
that you should, if you were following the actual rules for your budgeting, you should have a good budget.
We should have a good budget.
So now you're waiting for a new system again that you don't know how it's going to work, only because you can't be bothered to use the system that actually is in existence and works.
Yeah, our problem was lack of, like the Honorable Chairperson have stated, if I quote her well, if I quote you wrong, I'm sorry, that lack of reconciliation. Because when there is lack of reconciliation, we will not be able to have an updated information to use it in our budget. Because the actuals, will not be able to get the actuals if there is no proper reconciliation. So all these things boil down to lack of proper reconciliation.
And the fact that you have a whole host of staff that don't do their jobs,
Yes,
leaders that don't do their jobs and take their responsibilities.
yes,
You do not fire anybody, you do not discipline anybody, you do not enforce the provisions that are available to you.
we don't.
You yourself don't do the work that you're supposed to do.
Yes.
So how do you see the council utilizing any new system that is introduced? Because the one that is simpler and easier to follow, you can't implement.
Yeah, maybe when we move from this old system to a new system.
That's what you said for IFMIS.
Yes,
And that's what you said for the digital revenue collection.
yes.
It's always, you're looking for a better system, but you can't use the one that exists. So would it not be the same attitude that you would have when you have a new system?
Of
You'll be
budgeting.
looking for another system because you can't use this one.
Well, maybe for that of the budgeting, that maybe that one will be more, to us, will be more user-friendly.
So what's not user-friendly about the current mode of
They are all the same,
preparing the
because even with the MTEP or whatever that we are talking about, the actuals must be there. So if there are no actuals, you will not go anywhere.
So if you can't
Yes.
do it now, why would you be able to do it then?
Yes, it will be difficult or impossible, yes.
So you agree that it is the people that have the problem and not the system?
Not the system, it's the people. We are the problem, not the system. And I'm part of that problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know whether the commissioners have any question on the budget or my colleague.
On the previous lines of questioning. And Mr. Jure,
Yes.
take a look at this file, which is the establishment file.
Okay.
Did you take your budget back? The 2023 budget.
The budget is here, yes.
Look at the establishment register.
Okay.
The establishment file, Establishment Committee 2019, has been admitted in evidence. So take a look at the establishment register for Basse Area Council.
The budget is broken. Okay. Yes, 2023, yes.
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 Okay. Now, in 2020,
Yes.
to be precise,
Okay.
the committee on the 28th of February 2020,
Okay.
let me take it again. There was a report by the establishment committee on the 16th of March 2020,
Okay.
and it made some certain findings
Okay.
on the total number of staffs
Okay.
for the council.
Okay.
And it stated that there were 218
Yes.
staff members for the council.
Yes.
Now, if you look at the establishment register for Basse Area Council for 2023,
Yes.
you have 124. Going by this, you have 124, and you have another 24 that are pensioners.
Yes.
So now, for the purpose of clarity, is this the final register for Basse Area Council?
As of 2023.
Yes. Now, what happened to all the other staff that were noted by the said report that was generated by the establishment committee, indicating that the council had 218 staff? Is in the file.
Yes. $218, it may be, I'm not sure, but it may be pensioners, and some were decided to leave. But this is the current role of the council as of 2023.
So it's the total, these are pensioners, but the actual current role is 124.
Yes.
Is that what you have based on this document?
Yes, 124, yes, excluding the pensioners.
So that is what is confirmed. as the payroll for Basse Area Council.
Yes.
And the remaining 24 are pensioners,
The
as is provided for on the last page.
Yes.
Now, so what is the estimated total expenditure for this 128, both pensioners and current employees?
I think it's about 871.
821,000.
871,772.51.
871,000.
871,777.
Please speak into the mic. I'm not getting you.
871,772.51.
Okay. This is your current expenditure on staff salary.
Yes, as at June 2023.
Is this only on gross or total?
This is on only the total.
What do you have as a result of what does the total entail?
That is the salaries that are only payable to them, not their. This is the net
That is what.
after all the deduction is.
Okay. So
Yes.
so as we speak, you only pay net salary to the staff. What about the allowances and all other benefits?
We pay all the allowances. This is when we do the deduction.
Deduction.
Yes, the Social Security deduction, GRA, and other institutions that staffs are contributing to.
So to recap, this is the actual net salary that you pay each month.
Yes.
All right. Because this we want to reconcile with the overdrafts and the loans you take.
Okay.
And when we ask questions, particularly you and the director, you always say you take facility to pay salaries. So we will reconcile those amounts from the banks. And how much out of this is paid over the counter? That is cash payment to staff.
As at June 2023, 76,000.
You pay how much over the counter?
Yes, cash as at April 2023, cash was 78,000.
April 2020, 78,000.
April 2023. But this, when you look at June, it has reduced to 76,000. But as at April 2023, it was 78,261.59.
78,260.
261.59.
So why the increase? Why the increase from?
It has reduced in June.
It has reduced in June.
June, yes. And if you go back to 2021, you realize that it has gone up to 199,000. But because of what we have put in place, that all salaries will be paid to bank.
Is it because of the system audit?
No, not because of this. Was before the system audit that we have put in.
We are talking about 2023. The
Yes.
system audit was concluded in
2023 in October.
Yes.
Yes.
October 2023.
No, October 2022.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is what I'm saying. I'm saying it is as a result of the system audit that you reduce the cash transaction, because that is what is part of what was recommended in the audit, that you should reduce cash transaction.
Yeah,
Is that not what is contained in the audit?
that is what is contained in the audit report. But before the audit report also, we have been encouraging staffs to take their salaries to the bank.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. Who is this Mohammed Suso?
Mohammed Suso is a revenue collector.
You had cause to write to him. What was it about with respect to loan issue? You had cause, you as CEO, to
Yes.
write to him. What was that about? Let me help you.
Okay.
It's about loan.
Loan, okay.
Yes. So, how much loan was he given? And why did he refuse to pay the loan?
Well, unless if I can.
You as CEO,
Yes.
it's in the establishment file. You as the CEO wrote to Mohammed Suso on the issue of the loan he was given, for which he refused to pay, and you had to write to him. But you did not indicate in the letter how much was given to him.
Yes.
Can you consult and get back to us?
Yes.
Please note that. And for some of this, do you have any staffs that are not in your payroll, but you pay them transportation or allowance? Do you have collectors that are not on the payroll, but you pay them transport or allowance?
No.
Who is this Aida Jau?
Aida Jau is a collector.
Is she in the payroll?
Yes, she's in the payroll, yes.
Who is this Usainu Ture?
Usainu Ture, yes, is the current budget officer.
He was granted study leave with salary, right?
Yes.
Has he completed his studies?
Not yet. He's in the second year.
Did he sign any bond with the council?
No bond with the council. He wrote to the ministry to seek for study leave with salary, but it has not yet been approved yet.
You said?
It has not been approved yet. He has not got the reply since last year. Yes.
When did he start his university course?
Last year.
So you are not paying him salary?
We are paying him salary.
So it's not approved?
The study leave, he has not yet received any reply from the ministry. And
is it within your purview to approve study leave with salary or the responsibility of the ministry?
Because this grade, Hussaini's grade is above the grades that I'm given permission to appoint.
So why didn't you follow up, since you are paying? He is on studies and you are paying him salary and you needed the ministry to approve that. Why didn't you follow up to get it done?
We have made series of follow-up, including Hussein himself, to one extent that we told him that if you don't have the approval, your salary will be stopped.
Did you write?
No, we didn't write to him, but we have asked him to make a follow-up.
Is he the one that is supposed to make the follow-up, or you as CEO? Because you know the financial implication.
Yes.
And up to now, he has not signed anything to indicate that, you understand, in the event you are paying him and you are paying, are you paying the school fees?
No.
You are not paying the school fees?
They are only paying the salaries. Salaries, yes.
So he is paying for himself?
Yes.
Now, how sure are you that it is not the monies he is collecting as a revenue collector that he is using to pay his school fees?
Well, he's no longer collecting revenue.
So where did you redeploy him to?
He was senior accounting assistant. Then he was redeployed from that to the position of a budget officer. And when he became a budget officer, that was the time he decided to go to the university. Because like I said before, capacity was always a problem. And I encourage
He
them
has
to
never
go
been
on.
he has never been a collector.
He has been a collector, yes. He has been a collector. He was the canteen collector. He was the one who was collecting.
That is why, Mr. Ture, I asked the question.
Okay.
That how sure are you that revenues collected are not the funds he is using to pay his university?
Well, I cannot be 100% sure, but he has been redeployed from that position long since.
No.
So he has been with the council as budget officer for some time before he went to the university.
How often do you conduct staff audit?
Staff audit, well, it is not very regular, but from time to time, I will tell the paymaster, the cashier, that I want to see all those people whom we are paying. Like in April 2023, we have conducted one where they have to come, even if your salary is at the bank, you have to come, then I call you and I ticket. Yes.
Is it not contained in your the financial manual that you must, by the end of each year, you must confirm what is your actual payroll, and this you can only do when you conduct the audit?
Yes.
But you don't do that?
Yeah, I could remember, not like I say, it's not very frequent, but
It's not consistent?
It's not consistent, yes. But from time to time, even if where they are posted, we go there and see them before we pay their salaries.
Yes. Who is this Sira Danjo?
Sira Danjo is late.
And who made the recommendation that Mrs. Aida Jau should replace her?
I made the recommendation.
You made the recommendation?
Yes.
On what basis did you make the recommendation?
Because after her demise, there was a need for
there was
a need for yes.
That portfolio to be for you to have somebody in that position.
Yes.
Now, was Aida Jau an employee, an intern? What was her position in the council?
Yes, I think that she has some history because she was one time with council, then due to marital issues, she was moved with the husband to Banjul. Then later, after some time, she came back and said she want to continue working. But I told her that can only be reinstatement because if you have
before she left the council, was she an employee of the council?
He was an employee of the council.
She was on the payroll.
Payroll, yes.
If you look at the establishment register, can you refer me?
Not in my time. I think she left before I came. So her name will not be in the establishment register from 2019 to 2023. Sorry, her name will not be in the establishment register before 2019.
But I just asked you, I said whether she was under the employment of the council. You said yes.
Yes, she was employed by the council.
So where is
and
the evidence?
She brought her appointment letter at that time. She is having her appointment letter.
That should be in the establishment file, right?
It should be here, I will check.
That's the establishment file. During lunch break, you please check it and confirm. If it is not there, kindly note it and you provide us with the letter.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and
okay, thank you.
yes. Now the minutes of the establishment committee.
Yes.
It seems that discussions are made prior to the committee sitting. If you go through the reports of the committee meetings.
Okay. But normally when...
No, let me come.
Okay.
It seems that agreements are made before these meetings are held. So these meeting reports are just to fulfill a requirement, but proper protocol is not followed in reporting exactly what has transpired in those meetings. Is that not the case, looking at the minutes?
No, because if I can come in there, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Normally when there are issues like somebody applied for a position, I will mail it to the chairman of the establishment committee for their review and advice. So this time when they come to the office, they ask for their file. When they go through their files and find some of those things there, they will meet and they will review it and advise accordingly.
But Mr. Ture, you are supposed to be a member of all the committees of council, right?
Yes.
And what I'm saying is that if you read the reports of these committees,
yes,
it will give you an impression that matters are discussed outside and they are just being reported on.
It's a possibility.
It's not a possibility, it's the fact.
Okay.
Because you can see that there is no agenda, there's no details, there is nothing. They will be reporting on what has been agreed.
Yes, you are right. There should be an agenda.
Yes, so that is what is on the report.
You are very right. There should be an agenda.
So, and it also can be noted from that file that most of these reports are generated as an afterthought. That the committee doesn't actually sit, but these are prepared afterwards.
Mama, they sit. They used to sit. They used to sit.
They used to sit.
Yes. When the.
But Mr. Ture, you just told us right now that
yes,
they will send these things and you will minute it. So if they send this thing and they are minuted and you just ask them, it doesn't indicate that they sit as a committee to look at the merits and the demerits of what is being requested to be done by this committee.
Yeah, if you allow me to explain, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, you can
Good.
explain.
Like if an applicant apply for a position, they will apply to the CEO, address it to the CEO. Then I will mail it on that letter to the chairman of the establishment committee. Chairman, please review and advise accordingly. So I'll put it in their file. So when they come for the general council meeting, they will all request for their files and look at their files. When they found out that there are new letters that are mailed to the committee, then they will inform their members that tomorrow or next tomorrow or this particular day, we should have a meeting to discuss because there are letters in the file that we need to discuss. This is how it used to happen. Yes.
Now, if you look at the file we have received from the council,
yes,
you could see that there is no committee meeting minutes from 2019. The only one, we can only notice only 1 minute in that file. Is this the whole file for the establishment committee from 2018 to...
Yes, this is...
to January 2023?
Before I created this file in 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
I saw only 1 minute in that file. So there is no file for establishment committee prior to you getting to Bassa Area Council.
Yeah, it's possible, yes.
Can you please help us check?
So,
And if please help us check. And if there is a file, please ask them to forward the file. So that we
I will check here. If I could not find it, I will liaise with the chairman of the... Normally, whatever we have here, they also keep it at home.
So for whole of 2019, I said for the whole of 2019,
yes,
the establishment committee sat only once because it's only 1 minute report that is in the file.
Yes, I will find out and authenticate that, justify that one. Yes.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed. Register, can you please bring them? Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Ture.
Bring the file.
Good morning.
Are you on executive leave with salary?
Now,
Are you on executive leave with salary? Are you receiving your salary?
yes, I'm on yes, administrative leave with salary.
And the allowances too?
The allowances, yes.
Including the IFMIS allowance?
Yes.
Why?
Well, since then, when we are asked to go on leave, they have not stopped anything. Though we still, we know what is the problem is there, but they have not removed any allowance.
How much were you paid for the IFMIS?
IFMIS? Yes, it's 10,000.
10,000?
Yes.
For something that you're supposed to use and make your work easy?
Exactly.
Was it fair?
If you allow me, I can explain.
Okay, please.
Yes. It will not be fair when I'm not using it. I should not be paid. But this was a concession that was reached at the AGCM, Accountants General Department, when all the CEOs of all the councils, all the finance directors of all the councils, and all the ministry was also represented there, that it is with great concern that government officers that are using the IFMIS are given allowances. So that is where this issue of allowances came.
And it was decided that $10,000 is to be paid?
So many figures were brought, but we finally agreed at 10,000 for CEOs and 8,000 for finance directors, and as it goes down. And for the TOTs, 5,000 across all the local government councils.
Okay.
Mr. Ture,
Yes, sir.
we have listened keenly as you take us through the whole budgeting process.
Yes.
But I have observed that there are gaps in terms of processes and procedures.
Okay.
All what I have been hearing is about the budget committee.
Okay.
And then the director of planning is part of the budget committee,
Yes.
as he is going into that committee. But then you also mentioned about participatory budgeting.
Yes.
And then when it comes to participatory budgeting, the WDC, the Ward Development Committees and the Village Development Committees are very key, because those are the entry points for development, because it is the people's wishes, what they want in their communities, knowing or understanding the fact that the councils are social service delivery institutions. They deliver services to the people. They are not business entities. But then when the VDCs or the WDCs submit their budgets to the council,
yes,
who reviews them? My understanding is that you have a very important committee, and that is the Development and Planning Committee.
Yes.
But I have not heard anything about that committee and also the Finance Committee in the whole equation of the budgeting process. What happens? What are their roles? Are they rendered dysfunctional or what?
Yeah, thank you very much. I said for the Finance Subcommittee, we normally, when it comes to budgeting, we merge the two committees together. That of the Development Subcommittee was an oversight, but Development Subcommittee is also very, very key. Yeah, because normally when these people submit their proposals, Development Subcommittee also goes down to the ground together with some of the CDOs, the community development officers there, to help them the proposals that they have sent to see whether they are genuine or not, and even help them when we send back the budget for them to review. But the Development Committee is very key in terms of the budget process. Yes. It was an oversight, I did not mention them. Thank you very much.
Now, I just want you to clarify for me.
Okay.
This 10,000 that has been paid as an allowance,
yes,
from for using the IFMIS,
yes,
is it not to encourage the people concerned that are identified to use the system,
yes,
for them to proactively use the system?
Yes,
right?
yes,
Now, if you are under suspension,
yes.
are you entitled to still receive the 10,000?
I'm not. But the letter that was given to me does not indicate that he should not be paid any allowances. They just said they should go home with, they should be paid half
Yes.
of their salaries, yes.
Half of their salary.
Salaries, yes. But there was no indication that their allowances should be
Also
cut.
stopped.
Because I could remember in other departments, even if you are going on study leave, they will stop all your allowances. I could remember when I was in MOPSI, I was going for, normally when I go for studies, all my allowances will stop.
Yes, the reason why I'm asking is because
Yes.
this is a specific allowance
Yes,
that is given to you as CEO,
so,
because you sit there every morning authorizing or approving
yes,
transactions
Yes.
that have been entered into the system
yes,
to allow them to generate the necessary data
Yes.
and for them also to proceed
yes,
on the activity that they are doing.
yes.
So if you are not there and you are not doing that work, that is the reason why I'm asking the
Yeah,
question.
we should not be paid. But the current chairman is listening. Even when the letter came and we are told that we are going to be paid half salary,
I understand that.
I told him that even this half salary, we should not take it because we are not doing the job. He said no, that there are legal implications
Yes.
to that. So the 10,000, I think the ministry can write back to them and say once they are not using the IFMIS, that allowance should stop. And that one will be right. And there will be no implication on that because we are not definitely using the system. And therefore we should not be paid for it.
Oh, thank
Yes, thank you very much.
So, Mr. Chair, did you say that it was the Accountant General's department that suggested that you be paid an allowance for using the system?
No, we suggested to them.
You suggested it to them.
Yes.
Why?
The
What was the rationale behind it?
Because we've realized that the other officers in government departments that are using IFMIS are also paid allowances. So if we are also going to use the same system at our end, we should be paid allowances.
Now, is your situation the same as the other government departments?
No, they brought in the IFMIS system so that we can align with the central government.
Okay.
Yes.
And it was for your benefit, right?
Yes, for our benefit.
So that you would be more efficient. So
Exactly,
that you
ma'am.
can do your reconciliations
Exactly,
on
ma'am.
time, etc.
Yes, because
So if they're launching a system that is for your benefit, central government gets no benefit out of it, right? It is for you.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, but even central government they are also benefiting out of the IFMIS system
That you're using.
that we are using. Yes.
Okay, how?
Now what I mean, the IFMIS system that they are using.
No, so we're not talking about the only relationship I'm trying to join the central government with you is that they're providing the system for you. Are you
Yes.
paying for the system?
No, we are not paying.
Okay, so it's a free system.
Yes,
And it is to make your work easier.
yes.
So why are you paying yourselves for a free system that is meant to make your work easier?
Yeah, because we believe that we are not in that much different from the other civil servants in the central.
Can you afford it? Is that not one major difference?
Yes.
You can afford it?
No, not like how the
Not like central government
central
can afford
government.
it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So why would you choose to pay yourselves? And you didn't pay yourselves just for an initial period. You've been paying yourselves since it launched.
Yes.
So every month, you, the Director of Finance, Director of Planning, and all the other people that are supposed to use the system, you get paid an allowance.
Yes.
And this is the system that you managed to not use for the entire 2021. Your Director of Finance was not using.
Yes.
You barely use.
Yes.
The planner does not use.
Yes.
Your internal auditor, barely.
Yes.
Procurement, barely. So at what point would you have thought it fair to stop the allowances?
I think here and there, I don't know whether it will be captured in their minutes, the General Council. They have always been on us to say if the IFMIS system is not fully implemented, we are going to write and stop your allowances. That they have said that in no limited terms. Yeah, but
Is any member of the council being paid an allowance?
no,
Not the chairman?
no.
So I'm just wondering how you justified it to the council for you to be paid an allowance for using the system.
Because we
You just said
informed them
central
about
government,
it.
central government are paying allowances, so you should also be paid allowances.
Yes, that's the whole one.
I see. So this new system that you said the Accountant General's Department is launching, would you also be paid an allowance?
No, the one PFM is launching, no, there will be no allowance.
How do you know that?
No, I don't think there will be, because that, where in the central government, they are not paying anybody for using the any budget system.
They're not paying anybody for using any budget system.
No.
So that's why you won't be paid. So anything that the central government does, essentially you would do.
Yeah, because we are not seeing ourselves as different from any other civil servants.
Even though you have legislation specific to you.
Yes.
Okay. Now the chair wants to ask a question.
Yes, I just want you to clarify on this 60%, 40%
Okay.
budget issue. You said this year, is it this year or last year? Last year, sorry.
Okay.
Government paid a subvention of 2 million to the
Yes,
council, right?
Yes, yes.
The 60% revenue,
Okay.
as provided for in the Act,
Yes.
does it contemplate the subvention that is to be paid by government?
Normally this,
No.
Okay.
Let's go straight and you answer the question. Does the 60% contemplate the grant or the subvention that government pays to the council?
yes,
It does?
we put it into consideration.
No, you put it there, but based on what the Act is providing, to
Okay.
say that 60% of the revenue
Yes,
that you collect
should go back to the taxpayers.
should go as development.
Yes.
Does it contemplate the subvention anywhere in the legislation? Does it contemplate?
No.
So why do you normally put it in your budget as part of revenue, which should cumulatively form part of the 60% development fund that you are supposed to provide for as a council?
Yeah, because we are seeing it as a revenue, so we didn't segregate it from any other revenue. So based on the revenue generated, 60% should go to the wards. Wherever this money is coming from, when it forms part of the revenue, it should be 60-40, and the 60 should go back. That is the only reason why we capture it in the budget, and when we are calculating the 60%, it forms part of the 60%.
So does the legislation provide that the 2 million should be a requisite subvention that should be paid yearly by government? Is it provided for under the legislation?
I could not remember in anywhere, but maybe the subvention or the grants comes in different ways. Conditional, when they will ask you to attach a budget to it, and it is purely for that one, for development. You have others that are unconditional. That one will come, and you are at liberty to use it.
So Mr. Ture, knowing
Yes,
fully
ma'am.
well
Yes.
that these subventions or
Yes.
grants can come,
Yes,
and there will be conditionalities
exactly, ma'am.
in these grants.
Yes, ma'am.
My issue is,
Yes.
why, in as much as I accept the fact that it is revenue coming in,
Yes.
why do you have to contemplate that the 60% that you need to collect and expend on development projects, you have to rely on that?
Yes, my only reason for doing that is because it forms part of our revenue.
Yes.
Yes, this is why, and anything that comes as a revenue should 60% should form part of the
Yes, but
development.
the history
Yes.
of these subventions, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
it's not like it's consistent.
It's not consistent.
It's not consistent.
Yes.
And then there are conditionalities attached
Attached
to it.
to it, yes, sometimes.
You
yes.
understand? So now my problem is,
Yes.
you know, as a matter of fact, when
Yeah.
you collect revenue, 60% should go for development.
So-
whether you receive grant, whether you don't receive grant,
So,
whatever amount you collect, 60% should go on development.
so,
And my question now goes to, from 2019 to 2021/2022, when you implemented that project,
yes,
when you went to borrow 5 and 10 million, which is the 15 million,
yes,
you were fully aware
yes,
that you have executed no project
okay,
from 2019 to the time you went to take that loan, those two loans from Trust Bank and Vista Bank.
we have
Is
implemented
it
Vista Bank and Supersonics.
Supersonic, sorry.
We have implemented projects in 2020.
Which are the projects that you implemented?
2020 was the boreholes, and there was another footbridge at Kanyube that we have constructed, and the incomplete Sandika market was also part of our
2020 projects.
yes 2020 project.
Please provide us with the details of those projects that you've done.
They were submitted. I asked the engineer, planner engineer. I said he submitted all those information.
Okay, we will
Yes.
note that and
Okay.
cross-check
Okay.
so that we can confirm.
All right, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, you can proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I wanted to refer you to Section 46 of the Local Government Act.
Okay.
So I'll just read it to you.
Okay.
It says, subject to subsection 2, a council shall establish such departments as it shall deem appropriate for the day-to-day execution of its functions.
Okay.
The departments of a council shall include finance, services, planning and development, and administration. The departments of a council shall have such terms of reference and such staff as a council shall determine.
Yes.
Each department shall be headed by a director, whose office shall be an office in the local government service, and shall, subject to the provisions of this act, be subject to the terms and conditions which may be prescribed for the Local Government Service Commission. The directors shall be responsible for the day-to-day implementation of the functions of their departments and shall, in the performance of those functions, report to the chief executive. Now, you have a finance department.
Yes.
Okay, you had a director for that department.
Yes.
You have an internal audit department.
Yes.
No director.
No director. No.
You have a planning department.
No
and
director.
no director.
No director. Yes. No.
What other department do you have?
We
You have a
the
procurement.
procurement and
No
budget.
director.
And budget. Yes.
You have a budget unit
Unit. Yes.
with no director.
Yes.
Which other unit do you have or department?
I think those are the two that we
So,
have.
and you also don't have an administration department.
No, we don't have an administrator, though I requested for it.
So only your finance department has a director heading the department,
Yes,
contrary to the provisions of the Act.
yes.
So when did you write to ask for directors to be hired?
That of the planning, he was interviewed based on the position of a director.
Yes,
But
we
because
dealt with
we
that
dealt with
before,
that,
and you had
yes.
said that you haven't
Exactly.
written again
Yes.
since. Okay, so for
for
the others,
administrator, that was last year.
you wrote last year.
Last year, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I think they were shortlisted, but there was no interview yet.
There was what?
They were shortlisted, but there were no interview yet.
What about internal audit and procurement?
Internal auditor, it was shortlisted and interviewed, but it doesn't meet the qualification, and he was never appointed. The budget officer also was also shortlisted because this one is redeployed, So he was also shortlisted, interviewed, but not appointed.
And can the council afford to pay the salaries of other directors added onto the payroll?
No, like for example, the plan department, already before he went for the interview, the salary was like grade 9, so the director will be grade 12. So you need to pay the difference. So for the budget officer,
So you're assuming that your planner engineer will get the position,
yeah, because he was the only candidate shortlisted.
but he still does not meet the criteria.
He doesn't meet the
So
criteria.
he cannot
yes.
get the
He
position.
cannot get the position.
Right, so
Yes.
whoever they're hiring as director would be paid at grade 12.
Grade 12, yes.
Okay, so we will assume that you're going to get a new director of planning, and he's going to be paid at grade 12. Same for procurement, internal audit, budget, right?
Yes.
So are these positions that the council can afford to pay for?
No, for internal auditor, it was a senior internal auditor. That one is not a director of audit.
The Act says each department is to be headed by a director
Yeah, because we
who
cannot,
is responsible for the day-to-day runnings of that department.
because we cannot afford to pay for the full salary of a director. This is why we started with a senior internal auditor.
So the position that you asked the Local Government Service Commission to advertise was for senior internal auditor.
Yes.
And what grade would that be?
I think that grade will be grade 9.
Grade 9.
Yes.
Okay. Also, can you, sorry, the chair wants to ask you something.
Mr. Ture, are you aware that you are given option? You are given an option under the Act
Yes.
to source for qualified personnel without them being full-fledged members or employees of the council. Are you aware of that?
Maybe I'm not very
It's
much acquainted
provided
with
for
that.
in the Act.
In the Act, okay, okay. I will.
Yes. Do you have the Act there?
No, I don't have the Act.
Please
Can you,
give him
but can you
this.
refer me to the section? I will.
Please give him this. Let him read 117.
Okay.
Please read what is contained in 117.
117. Okay. Without prejudice to any power.
Please be closer to the mic so that we hear
Yeah,
you.
yes, I say, okay, without prejudice to any power exercisable apart from this section, a council may, if it considered it necessary, to place at its disposal the service of an officer employed by the central government or other councils to enter into an agreement with the central government or other councils, as the case may be, on such terms and conditions for secondment of the officer to its services after consultation with the officer concerned.
Deputy Registrar.
Yes, Deputy Registrar. Now, if I can come there, maybe I will need an interpretation. Because when my understanding with secondment, I think if people are still on secondment, when they are with your department, you still need to pay. Then they will have to pay back a certain amount, percentage to the central government.
Yes.
Yes.
That would be less than you paying the full-fledged salary package for any portfolio. You know, this is just in furtherance to what senior counsel, lead counsel has asked you with respect to filling these positions with directors. Okay. So if the council, and you said the council doesn't have the funds to recruit staff to man those positions. That is why I referred you to section 117.
Okay.
You understand? To say that you have been given an opportunity to be able to man those positions with qualified personnel from government. Because it's a percentage that you will pay. And the difference would be such that you will be able to accommodate that from your funds. Is that not correct?
Yeah, maybe I did not understand that, because I know about the secondment, but
Yes. You didn't understand.
That area, yes, but I didn't understand it that way. Because I thought...
But now you understand?
Yes, I understand, yes. Okay. We can, yes.
Okay. Yes, Councillor, please.
Thank you. Mr. Ture, I was going to ask about the properties that the council owns. Do you know what properties the council owns?
Yeah, the Basel Central Market.
I think I had asked you for a list, right?
Hmm?
I had previously asked you for a list of the properties.
Yes.
Okay, did you get the list?
No, you didn't ask me.
I didn't? Okay, can you assist us and get us a list of the properties that the council owns in Basel and anywhere else?
Okay, and their locations?
Yes, so please note it down.
Okay. They will send it to me, yes. Okay.
Also, did you at any point in your employment with Basel Area Council provide security to the council for the position that you hold?
I didn't understand.
So let me read you Section 120 of the Local Government Act. So it says security to be taken in relation to officers. One says, a council shall, in the case of an officer employed by it, whether under this or any other enactment, who by reason of his or her employment is likely to be entrusted with the custody or control of money, take such security for the faithful execution of his or her office, and for his or her duly accounting for all money or property which may be entrusted to him or her, as the council may consider sufficient.
No, I could not remember.
You didn't ever give any security?
No,
Do you know if the Director of Finance ever provided security to the council?
I could not remember.
Did the council ever request for any security to be provided?
No, not to my knowledge.
Did you at any point recommend this section to the General Council?
No.
Okay. And do you know of the Director of Finance's other businesses?
I only come to know after the system audit that he has businesses. But before that, I never knew that he has any business that is running.
He never told you?
No, he never told me.
He never told the council?
No.
But has he not ever issued checks to you from his business account?
No.
You've never had to withdraw money from his business account? And what about you? Do you have any businesses?
No, I don't have any business.
Properties?
Maybe where I'm staying.
In where? Basse?
In Gunjur.
In Gunjur?
Yes.
Okay. So you've never owned any businesses?
No.
No side jobs?
No side job. No.
All right. Chair, I don't know, I think this is a convenient point to stop.
Let me ask. Mr. Ture, do you have any relation to any of the co-owners of Green Vision?
I didn't have any relation with any of them.
Any close relative or distant relative?
I know for Green Vision, they are from Gunjur. Bunya is from Gunjur. But our relationship with Jane and Ture is not, it's a distant relationship because we are all from the same community.
It's a distant relationship?
Yes, because we are all from the same community. I could not trace that intimacy relationship with him.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Council?
I had said that I thought it was a convenient time to stop for break. I'll be guided.
Okay. Let me just... Now, Mr. Ture, can you give us do you have any document to show the loan liability of staff of the council?
Of
Records?
Unless if I ask the finance department.
Please note and provide us with loan liabilities of staff of the council.
Yes.
Now, in the establishment file that has been admitted in evidence,
Yes.
the committee on the 20th of February 2020 listed 4 employees as being pensioners. But when you take a look at the pension list attached to the establishment register for 2023,
Yes.
these 4 are not part of this list. So what can you tell us about that?
Can I know their names? I'm sorry.
Can I have the file? Let me give you the document. Yes. It's the letter dated the 20th of February 2020. Registrar, can you please give this to the witness?
Yes.
They are not part of the list of pensioners attached to the establishment register for 2023.
I know for the Jallo, for
Sorry?
Mohammed Sane, that one, I don't know why, but I know for the Jallo, that one, after the retirement, we discovered that the age was even above the time of his retirement.
Sorry, please speak into the mic so that we can get what you're saying.
For the Jallo,
Yes.
after going through the documents, we realized that he was, at the time when he was engaged, he was above the retirement age. For Mohammed Sane, that one should be there. I don't know. I have to confirm that. Then Mama Jan Balo, he's still yet to receive his retirement benefit.
But what does that have to do with the payment of pensions? Is he entitled to, even if he doesn't receive his benefits, is he entitled to receive pension?
For him, the issue is with the documentation. We cannot still collect all his documentations to tally with his date of birth, so that we can process his retirement benefit. According to Sadio Suarez's retirement benefit was processed and he was paid.
Yes, this was written
Yes.
since February 2020,
Yes.
and this is 2023.
Yes.
Yes. So are you telling us that all of these 4 people are not receiving their benefit, or they have not been paid, or they are not paid their pensions as is required under the law?
I know Mohammed Sane and Sadio Suarez, those people conveniently, I can attest to that they have received their retirement benefits.
Is it contained in the register? How many Muhammad Sanis do you have at the council?
I know of only one.
We can give you time to go through that during lunch break, and you can confirm.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you
now,
very much.
take a look at this this document that was, it's the minutes of the Contracts Committee meeting of Bassa Area Council, which was dated the 10th of March 2021. And this was pursuant to the contracts, the major contracts you executed. You know, the bridges and the roads you built.
Yes.
Now, take a look at this and let me ask you the question. Bring those documents and put them back on the file. That's the minutes of the Contracts Committee,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How many members are supposed to be in that Contracts Committee as per what is provided for under the law? And what constitutes the membership?
Yeah, we have only 5 members.
What constitutes the membership? Who are supposed to be the members of the Contracts Committee based on the legislations that are guiding you?
I know that the CEO,
Yes.
Finance Director, the Director of Planning, the Procurement Officer.
These are the 5.
Yes.
Now, turn to the last page.
Yes, we have the Chairman for
Chairman,
the
is he part of the Contracts Committee?
For this particular meeting, he was part of it because sometimes we cop them in. And we should also cooptate another expert on projects.
Okay.
But we have not done that.
So what expertise does the chairman have to warrant him to be co-opted into this committee for these projects that you are executing?
We only believe that because he's the chairman of the head of the institution. So when we are discussing such important issue, he should be part of it. But he never signed. He
Yes,
said he has come to attend the meeting, but he's not part of the meeting, so he don't sign.
So why, if he believes that this is important,
Yes.
where did he attend the contract committee meeting for the projects you executed in 2020?
No, he did not.
So why are these projects special for him as chairman to attend this meeting?
Yeah, he should not attend it.
Now, would it be right to say that he attended because he wanted to influence the outcome of who is to be given the contract? Because these are the 5 major or 6 major contracts that you got the 15 million for. Is that not so?
Yes.
So, is my statement correct?
We invited him
Is my statement correct?
for him to influence.
Yes. Is my statement correct?
Okay.
No, you have to answer the question. If it is not correct, you tell me it's not correct. I will take yours. But if it is correct, you tell me it's correct because you swore to give evidence, truthful evidence.
Yes, and I will give truthful evidence.
Yes. So
Yes, ma'am.
did he attend because he wanted to influence the outcome of the transactions?
No, he didn't definitely influence the outcome of this transaction because I could not remember whether he knew any of these contractors before.
We
Not to my
will
knowledge.
put that to you later.
Yes,
So,
okay.
but we will take your evidence.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Lisa, can you please take?
Sorry, just a short one, Mr. Toure. You see,
Commissioner.
governance is governance.
Governance, yes.
You know public administration.
Yes.
The chairman has an oversight responsibility.
Okay.
Not so.
Yes.
If he was part of the committee doing the procurement,
Yes.
when it runs into problems, how can he be part of the solution?
Definitely.
Don't you think that he has compromised his oversight responsibility?
Yes.
He did. He has already compromised his oversight
Yeah,
responsibility.
because he should supervise us.
Yeah, he should. He
Yeah, so we
has the
cannot-
role of he has a supervised role.
Yes.
So you cannot be part of the problem and be part of the solution.
You are very right.
Yeah.
Commissioner,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other question? Yes, I believe this is a convenient point. We may rise for lunch.